This time on Finnegan's Garage, we're flying all the way across country, buying the greatest jet boat ever built, and going 3 days worth of drag racing with 3 videos just for you guys.
There we go. It's adventure time. As you guys know, I sold Game Over. Didn't have any plans to buy another boat. A unicorn came up for sale in the form of a all carbon fiber 2016 Cheyenne jet boat. And so I was like, what the hell? Life's short. Let's do this. So I'm on my way to the airport right now. I'm going to fly from Atlanta, Georgia to San Diego, California. I'll update you when I'm on the ground in San Diego. Quite a bit warmer here. It's 33 back home, 72 here in San Diego. Let's go find the luggage. Or a beer, because brewery. No, luggage. Focus. All right, where's my bags? This is probably the most nervous I've ever been to get my bags before, because my racing gear is in my luggage, and it's not regular racing gear. You can't just go pick up a race legal life vest at the corner store. So if they lose my luggage, there's no racing this weekend. It's kind of important. Oh, there we go. That is my life jacket right there. And my Kevlar shorts. It's official. As long as nobody stole them out of here, we can go boat racing. Beautiful. All right, made it through the traffic, or at least this section. And I was driving along thinking, this feels real familiar. And that's because this spot on Interstate 15 is the spot where I received my very first speeding ticket ever. And I was 17, driving my 1976 Chevy Camaro. I was out on a date with a girl who had to be home at a specific hour, and we were really late. So I was going really fast. And it was late at night, it was very dark, not a lot of people on the highway at that hour, and all of a sudden, just all hell broke loose. Lights, cherries, berries, sirens, all of it, all at once. The guy came right up behind me because we were going so fast with his lights off, and it threw everything on at once. And I freaked out, and we pulled over, and he clocked me at a lot. Let's just put it this way. He wrote me up for 90 miles an hour in a 55, and he was doing me a favor. And so, I went to traffic school with pizza, because back then you got to choose what kind of traffic school you wanted to go to, and you could go to comedy traffic school or traffic school with pizza, or whatever. And I remember vividly going to traffic school, sitting on the 3rd floor of a building in Temecula, California, overlooking the main drag during the Temecula Rod Run for 9 hours one day on a Saturday. And I also remember having to borrow the $1,500 to pay the fine from my sister, and who was really nice not to tell my folks about it. But anyway, that's my speeding ticket from here on Highway 15. I'll see you in Bakersfield. And more traffic. There's one thing I don't miss about SoCal: the traffic. I do miss the Mexican food, though. The Mexican food is amazing here, and I do miss it. Well, while we sit in some more traffic, I'll give you a little more tour. This is the city of Temecula. This is where I went to high school. And I only lived here 4 years, and then I moved. Oh boy. Still sitting in traffic. I'm mean, not that I have anything else to do. And get there eventually. It'll just be very dark when I arrive. Like I said, other than the tacos, my friends, and drag boat racing, not a lot about SoCal I miss. Definitely not the traffic. Made it. Oh, 4-hour drive turned into a 7-hour drive. And you can't see the water out there, but that is Lake Ming in beautiful Bakersfield, California. I'm gonna go dump the trailer off here, go to the hotel, get some sleep, and then tomorrow, which is Friday, I'll set up the pit, get registered, go through tech inspection, all the good stuff, and then it's game on. Be there, be there, be there. Aha! Still there. Whew, okay. It's not my truck, borrowed it. So it's always good when you borrow someone's truck, come out of the hotel in the morning, and it's right where you left it parked. Oh man, it'll be a hell of a day. Stashed the boat in the enclosed trailer at the track last night, thanks to some really good friends, and now I gotta go shopping for food and beer, and then we're gonna head to the track, and we'll do registration, tech inspection, all the things. Oh good, the cooler's still here too. Nice. Everything I need to feed the crew. One more stop for ice, and we're out. Let's go. You're never too old to ride a shopping cart. Don't forget that, all right? Okay, ready to go racing. We're at Lake Ming. This is a man-made lake that was put together in the 60s specifically for power boating. And the National Jet Boat Association has been here ever since. This is where I learned to drag boat race. This is where I won my first championship. Like, all my friends are here. I couldn't be happier to be here. It's been 10 years since I've driven a drag boat competitively. So today's goal is to get through tech inspection, to get the boat registered for the race. We're gonna put it in the water and float it in the lagoon here because I don't know if it's gonna sink. I've never really sat in it. I've never seen the boat in real life on the water. This boat for the last 6 years for me has just been this unicorn that I would see in photos and videos on the internet. And when it came up for sale, I had just sold Game Over and I thought, what the hell, let's go drag boat racing. And this is like a huge goal for me. I always said to myself, if this boat ever came up for sale, I would find a way to get it because it's 250 pounds lighter than Game Over. Like, it doesn't have turbos, but it makes a ton of horsepower. It's really light, and I want to experience the whole shot of something that light on the water. Oh my God, this thing's so sexy. Automotively speaking, I have a little bit of ADHD. Like, I just changed my mind a lot. Owned Game Over, had a lot of fun with it. Towed it cross country last summer and went on vacation with my family. And when I towed it 2,000 miles to the Colorado River, when I got there, everything was loose on the boat from the tow. And I tightened everything I could see, everything I could find, thought everything was fine. And we vacationed on the water for like 3 days. It was great. And on the last day of our vacation, I suited up, made a rip in the boat. Something was loose, backfired, it blew the intake apart. And it was at that moment that I thought, if I ever want to go drag racing in a boat, you got to go so far to do it. It's not happening where I live. The nearest race is 12 hours away. And so that science experiment of twin turbos, EFI, data logging, CO2 systems, all this stuff that was in Game Over, it's so complicated that I thought there's no way I would haul that boat cross country to go drag boat racing and think I'm going to be safe when I'm going 130, 40 miles an hour in it. And so I thought, that's it. I'm going to pull the motor out of Game Over, save it, and put it in a car or something. And in my brain, I thought, if I ever go drag boat racing, I'll do it in my wife's boat. It's fairly fast, really safe, not quite as complicated, and maybe one day I'll drive that. So in my mind, I was done, as far as having a little drag boat. And then this popped up for sale, the day after I sold Game Over. And
This boat is incredibly special, not just because it's all made of carbon fiber and it's the lightest Cheyenne jet boat I've ever seen in my life, but the people that worked on it are all friends of mine. And so the boat is really special to me. And the guy that owned it is a friend, drag boat racing legend named Joe LeCamp, who I grew up watching him race. So there were a lot of reasons that made this boat special, and I knew if it ever came up for sale, I would do whatever I could to find a way to own it. And I lucked out. I sold Game Over, and the next day I saw this thing online for sale, and so I bought it. And the reason that makes this thing safer than Game Over is it's a very simple setup here. It's 2 Dominator carburetors on an all aluminum 632 cubic inch Big Block Chevy. There's no turbos, there's no nitrous. It makes about 1,300 horsepower. And so it makes less power than Game Over, but because the boat is so damn light, it's almost as quick and as fast as Game Over. And so this boat, I can go racing and not worry so much about, you know, all the things that could go wrong on it. And so I bought it, and at the last minute, I realized there was a race here in Bakersfield, last one of the year, and I thought, what the hell? Let's just go, you know? Life is short, let's just get on a plane and go. And so we're here this weekend to get licensed in the boat because it's been years since I raced competitively. We're here to enter as many classes as we can and get as many laps behind the wheel of this thing as I can, because it's going to be 6 months before I can do it again. There's no drag boat racing over the winter. The next race is like February. So right now we'll get it uncovered. We'll see if tech inspection is going to happen here soon. Sometimes they come to your pit and look over your boat and your safety gear and tech you right here, and then go to registration. And once I'm through that, then I can sit in the boat, make motorboat noses, and it, you know, imagine what it's like to leave the starting line and drink and celebrate. So part of getting through tech inspection is to prove that you have a kill switch in the boat attached to a lanyard that attaches to your body. And what that does is it's this on a string, hooks to you. If something goes wrong and I get thrown out of the boat, this should pull this cap off. And when it pulls the cap off, it should disable the ignition. Well, I haven't run the motor, so I need to make sure the motor will fire up, so when the tech inspector gets here, I can demonstrate this shuts the motor off. So we're gonna fire the motor up real quick, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, I also just like hearing it run, but mostly this is for safety. Works. Okay, now we're ready for tech inspection. Is it up? Is it open or closed?
It's closed right now.
Okay, so if I hit this.
That's the reverser.
Yeah, all right, so there's closed. This should open the pop-off.
That's just releasing, so now we gotta find the up.
Right now we're trying to figure out what all the buttons and switches do. I bought the boat based on photos and videos I saw online. I went and visited the owner, and it got dark real fast, and we didn't get a chance to start it or go through any of this stuff. And so right now we're just figuring out. I know how to start it and run it, but there's some other buttons here that I don't know what they do, so we're just playing detective right now. No big deal. So there's a manual up on the inside of the boat?
Usually. We have one. Not sure if Ralls puts it in on his. That way, we always go in with the valve open so all the air gets out of the pump.
Ah, okay.
No, you know what? It doesn't. Don't worry about it.
What?
You got a bleeder.
Yeah, but you still gotta come up.
The water pressure opens it up.
It should. Andy's gonna be here in the morning.
Yeah, that's fine. They'll know they rigged it.
The one I don't know, I'm guessing maybe this is data, is this one here. I guess I can plug the laptop in and figure out if that's bilge. So ignition, fuel, start, data maybe.
The one thing that Miller's probably gonna tell you is because we heard the pop when you went to fire it.
Mm-hmm.
is start spinning before you turn the ignition on.
Oh, really? School me.
Everything now, okay, is real prone to blowing the carburetors off.
Oh, really?
So that's why.
Even NA?
Yes.
Whoa. Didn't know
So
that.
the thing is, we did it here in the pit in
Okay.
May.
Blew the
First
carbs
thing in the
off.
morning. Yeah.
No
So
nitrous.
Start spinning it. So I don't know if you heard that pop when you went to fire.
Yeah.
That was it trying, the reversion and the overlap in the cam is trying to fire on the other side, and it will literally blow the carburetors off.
Dude.
So spin first,
Okay.
ignition.
All right. Got it.
All right.
Wow. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just telling you what Miller told us, because we never had it happen before. We're always ignition and fire, one deal.
Yeah.
No, spin and kick.
Okay.
I heard that pop right.
Yeah,
when you
that's
went
what I told
by, and
him.
was like,
Like if you guys,
that little backfire blew our plastic bolts, but
Yeah.
you don't have plastic bolts.
no, they're all steel.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Dude. Okay.
careful on that.
Yeah. All right.
That'll ruin your weekend.
Crank it and then turn the ignition
Yes.
on. All right.
And then you can put your fuel on, but is the fuel and ignition the same or no?
No, they're separate.
Okay, yeah. So I would spin, ignition, turn the fuel on.
Okay.
And
Cool.
you have other air bleeds if you are lane with this altitude.
Yeah, we have.
He left it on the dyno at 10-1. He said so that
Oh,
when
so
he
it's
when
bad
it when
as
it
all.
got he said so when it got here it should be all
It's
right.
bad as F. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make anywhere near what it normally makes for power
And we
because
don't
it
know
was
what the hell
10 to
we're
1.
talking about, so don't use any of this.
Oh, I always, give the disclaimer. Not a professional. Don't do this at home.
What works for us may not work for you.
yeah. Your results might be different. All right.
Those pop-offs are zero maintenance for the lifetime of the boat.
I love it.
Not of the valve, of the boat.
Of the boat. I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, not the driver, the boat.
So it vents out the side, not out the top. So the top is fill?
That's charged.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And then the vent. Oh, yes. There must be water getting
So
in
they're
here.
just letting the water pressure blow the valve up.
Well, it sounds to me like that's looking at failure to reinstall.
Okay. All right. So this is a jet boat, right? You've never seen a jet boat before. They're really interesting vehicles. That's a car engine. Even though it's in a boat, it's basically a car engine. It is directly coupled to the jet drive. There's a hole in the bottom of this boat where water will come into the jet drive. There's an impeller inside of this bowl that is shrouded, and water will get squeezed out the back here. And that's what creates thrust, and that's what moves this boat through the water. And on top of this is a safety device called a pop-off. What this does is it vents excess water that would normally be coming through here out of here. And this is purely so that when the boat's going really, really fast, if you have too much water coming in here and it can't get out anymore, it'll cause the boat to handle really badly. It's a great device if you have to slow down. It's a great device if the motor locks up. And if the motor locks up and this stops spinning, you're going really fast, the water's coming in the jet drive, it has nowhere to go, it can go out of here. This is a safety device. And it's missing a hose off of it that will make it work, better, more safer. So I'm about to pull this off and add a missing hose on it, and then we should be all good there. Everything else on the boat seems to be just fine. That was the builder of the boat, Andy Ralls, on the phone, and he's actually going to be here tomorrow, which is cool. And so he just gave me the green light to work on this thing and a couple other little things. And like I said, he'll be here tomorrow to kind of go over this whole deal because I didn't build this boat, and he knows more about it than I do. There we go. All the blades are still there. That's good news.
Charge.
Charged.
We're not going to be able to charge it, but we're going to be able to keep water out of it.
Is the charge the vent though? Is that where it vents?
No, that's
That's just a up.
push up. The vent, it decharges off of this line. So when it loses pressure here,
So if this is plugged and he takes the air off here, this will
Yes.
still come up?
Yeah.
Okay.
just need to plug that. But he said the exhaust through this.
Yeah, he's like, hook a short piece of hose to it and
Okay.
put it in the boat and leave it. And I was like, all right.
I'm gonna put it back on.
I'm not saying we can put a plug in it. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
that just helps push up. But yeah, I guess it needs air to create a vacuum otherwise. But okay, we just
probably-
need to shove it back on
Yeah,
and make sure it works.
this close to drinking. Not because I'm like mad or anything, but we're almost through tech. Then I can have a beverage. Yeah. I can't believe he sold it.
I know.
I was like, wow.
You got the boat. Yeah.
Dude, I was out. I wasn't even buying a boat. I sold my boat.
Yeah.
And the next day I saw this and I was like, this is fate.
Wow.
This is
Yeah, it's a
absolute-
beautiful boat.
So I can't wait to drive it. If you guys were to let me drive it today, I'd drive it today.
Oh, well, Yeah, I wish I could.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna enter a lot of classes.
Yeah. Here, I'll let you start it off.
Oh, I filled one out.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
right
Perfect.
here.
Okay. Boy, it's been a while, huh?
It has. I called them to make sure it was still good. All right, so right now we're going through tech inspection. This is Mr. Joe Shelfo, and he's making sure all the bolts that hold the motor in have enough thread protruding through the lock nut. He's making sure there's nothing, obviously dangerous about the boat, and then he'll go through all the safety stuff that I showed you guys before, like the kill switch.
Straight up and down, huh?
We gotta move the seat back. Joe's a lot shorter than me.
Yeah.
Ready when you are.
Okay, so you want to start it first?
Sure. Okay. Everybody clear?
Yeah, I'm good. Just be gentle with the gas. There
Fire in the hole.
Okay. Can't believe I get to go racing again.
I know, man. This is exciting.
That's so exciting.
This is good.
All right. Steering wheel?
Yeah, wherever you want.
Okay. Does that mean we're
Great
legal?
to have you back.
Yes.
Yep.
Dude,
Yep.
we're in. Now we can go register.
All right.
All right.
Have fun.
Dude, come
Take
by
care.
for a beer later.
Oh, I will, for sure.
We have past tech. You know why? Because smart people built this boat. And even smarter people figured out the one or two issues it had before they were going to become bigger issues that either resulted in me having an incident out there or not passing tech. And as a result, we have passed tech, which means now I go to registration, pay my money to enter, and then drink. And I don't want to keep focusing on drinking, but I am celebrating, not going to lie. Dragboat racing, it's not real popular, and it kind of ebbs and flows with like how many boats there are. And on a good weekend, if they have 80 boats here, that's a lot for them to try to get through one race. And the NJBA is made entirely of volunteers. And so it's really well organized for the fact that it's run by volunteers. So if they have less than 80 boats, they'll run test and tune tomorrow morning, which is huge because I need as many passes as I could get behind the wheel of that thing before racing starts. This right here, I tell people the same thing every time. Cutting a good light right there is the hardest thing you can possibly do in sports, I think. I think it's as hard, if not harder, than hitting a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from a big leaguer. So that's the starting line right there, right? And it's a barge with a rope. And you hold onto the rope, and boats, they don't have brakes, right? There's no real way to keep a boat sitting still. So you're sitting there idling, and there's other boats waiting for their turn. So there could be 10, 20 boats with drivers all holding onto that rope, and the wind's blowing. Your boat doesn't have brakes, so your boat's moving back and forth in the water. And you have to time it right to cut a good light in a boat that you can't stop while holding onto a rope that's moving, and it is incredibly difficult to do. But if you can do it, dude, you're the man, or the woman, whatever you are. Like, cutting an O light is not easy. So when you see people do it here, those people are gangsters. And the way the starting line works here, it's interesting, is you hold onto that rope with that barge, but the beams are like 100 feet ahead of you. Your boat's not sitting at the beams like you are in a drag car. And so you kind of get a running start at the beams. Like most boats you see here, they're gonna let go of that rope and just flat foot it. And so by the time they get to the beams, which are like 100 feet away, I mean, they're going 50 miles an hour. And so the ETs for drag boats don't really correlate to what you see for a drag car, because in a drag car, the beams are inches away from your tire. So you're not getting a running start at them really. And so there's a countdown clock on the tree, one for each lane, and it counts down from 9 to 0 in half-inch increments. And you basically just pick a number, hit the gas and go, and try to time it so that you get to the beam right when it goes green. Like while you're sitting up there, you're mentally going, okay, the rope's moving backwards. No, the rope's moving forward. Oh, the boat's shifting sideways on the rope, trying to straighten the boat out, and all of a sudden you see the 9 come, and now you've got to hurry up and go, let go of the rope and go, okay, 9, 8, 7, pick a number and go. It is so hard. My old boat that I raced when I was here, when I would see the number 7, I would go. And it was boat ran like 8:30, no, it ran like 7:30s in the quarter. It was a pretty good boat, but it didn't have a great hole shot. This boat, when I see 5, I'm going. So this boat hole shot's so much harder that I'm waiting 2 full numbers before committing to hitting the gas pedal. About to float test the boat for the first time. All right, we got a leak. Yep, it's leaking at the transom adapter on both sides. Whoa, what is that? I think it's leaking. It's definitely, it's pouring in. I mean, it is a jet boat. It's pouring out of the packing and then it's pouring in from the transom adapter.
So we need to tighten the packing a little bit?
Yeah, I need to tighten the packing and then silicone the TA plates. Do a little float test here, check for leaks, and glad I did because I got water pouring in the boat. I think it's nothing more than some bolts that need to be tightened and some silicone we need to apply to this thing, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, it was running down the suction. I think it was coming out the packing on this side and it was running down.
It's all wet. It is.
Okay, that's easy fix. Okay.
But we have both the carbon fiber and the old wax style too.
Oh, really?
Both inside. And we have extra glands.
Oh, wow. You guys are all dialed
You
in.
broke a couple glands.
Hell yeah.
How important is it to go even on this?
Pretty important. Even on the packing glands.
Yeah.
You cock them sideways and they dig in the side of the housing.
You can only spin the wrench so far, so I think I'm going what I believe is 1 full turn.
Look at that oil line right here. It just collapsed.
So, you know what's interesting? I don't think it'll get reclocked. What's interesting is somebody told me that it had an oiling problem up top. You guys know when Miller's coming?
Tonight, 10 o'clock.
He'll be here tonight?
What's wrong?
The
Scavenge line.
scavenge lines for the dry sump are totally kinked.
So soft and kinked.
So we dunked the boat in the water to see if it had any leaks, and it did. And the leaks are no big deal. It needs some silicone down here on the transom adapter and tighten the packing glands on the jet drive, which is what seals the shaft. But Austin just noticed that the oil pump for the motor, it's an external one for a dry sump system, and it's got a bunch of hoses that go to it to either pressurize the oil system or scavenge oil out of the motor. Well, one of the scavenge lines is completely kinked, and I think it was because, you know, the motor was out of the boat, everything was installed on the motor, and it got dropped in the boat, and it got pinched, and nobody noticed it. So I think we'll be able to loosen the fitting, reclock it, tighten it back down, and it ought to be all right. I hope. That's why we came early. Find all the issues. Well, should we fix that and then put it in the water and fire it, or fire it? I don't think it's gonna be that.
It's a scavenge line.
At idle, I don't think it's.
It'll be fine. We'll get plenty of oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
Need to get it all the way in so it's level though, so it's not just.
Yeah, I'll get the whole
oil.
boat to pop up. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put it in and we'll fire it and see if it moves water.
You know what's nice?
It didn't used to be this complicated, did it? For the Rogers, you grab your beer, you turn the key, and you win.
It's still not that complicated. Back then, my biggest worry was how many beer cans were gonna come out of the bow, you know?
Jet's stuck, open.
It's just spraying water like a fountain in 4 different directions.
Oh.
Item number 5 for How to rebuild a jet boat boat that's built at the track.
At the track.
The ad said it was ready to go.
It is ready. It's at the track.
All right.
Let's pull out, let's go reg, and then we'll come back and
Yeah, we'll work on everything. Hey, we can come do this all night.
Sounds good to me. I'm just gonna ride back here. No problem. I think it just righted itself on the trailer. Racing when the Rio Bravo used to be here. So back in the day, registration, there used to be a resort right here that overlooked the water, and we would all stay in it. And it was rad. It had a hot tub and a pool and had a bar. And registration, registration was in the bar. So you'd go in there and register and then just stay there the whole night and get hammered. And now we have a golf course. I don't have a boat name.
Boat name?
We need to come up with a name before the weekend's over.
It'll be given to you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Boat names are given.
I can't pick it. I need to earn it.
No name.
I said the same thing.
No name is Finnegan, Finnegan.
The boat with no name, you can't do that. It's not a horse.
Do you know the date?
11/18.
11/22. Did I forget anything? We got it all? There's another page? Jeez.
Snuck that one right in.
It's getting really personal, Abigail. Wait, this is the same stuff as the first page.
No, it isn't.
It is. That's my name. This is literally the same information.
No, that's your emergency contact.
See? Name, address. It's all the same.
You forgot boat number. Do you not have the boat number?
Oh, no, I have that.
Okay.
Unless somebody stole it from me. Actually, so we do QE, 660, and I guess unblown.
unblown.
All right, let's do that. QE.
Okay.
Get rid of Super E.
Yeah, because that thing won't go a quarter of a mile. We're gonna run 3 classes because Georgia is a long way from here, and this is the last race of the year, and I want to go as many times as I can. And so we're gonna run a 660 shootout class, which is 8th mile. We're gonna run a class called Quick Eliminator, which is a 1,000-foot bracket race. And then we're gonna run Unblown Fuel Jet, which is a heads-up jet boat class for a quarter of a mile. I don't even know if anyone's ever driven that boat a quarter of a mile, but we're gonna find out what happens. So we got through tech inspection, we got through registration. I just bought 15 gallons of fuel, which I intend on burning all of it. And right now we're gonna fix some of the things that are wrong with the boat. We got massive water leaks by the jet drive, so the guys are gonna silicone that. We're taking this header off because on the oil pump, one of the lines for the dry sump system is completely kinked because it's sitting on the hull. So we're gonna loosen that fitting up, see if we can spin it and retighten it and get that line off the hull. We're just doing little things to make sure, we don't have bigger problems later. Whoever built these did a really good job. Oh, don't bang into the boat. There we go. Dude, they're light too. Wow. All right, here you go.
You gotta use ground floor covers?
You got all the guys out here with your custom-made work covers, but you're stuck with a work cover. It's just, this is where it goes. These, I can put these anywhere. Yeah. My house, your house, side of my boat, that's where it's at, dude. Walmart, Beth.
Come down to my pit. I had to make me fender covers that match the wrap cover.
I mean, you could do that, but why when you have these at any, Walmart or Target across America? What if you lose your cover?
How do you expect me to argue with that logic?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, it's not. Hopefully it comes out.
Yeah. We're pulling the drive shafts out so we can check all the bolts where it mounts to the flywheel. Just doing our due diligence.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a jet boat, it leaks, right?
Sometimes too, huh? Yeah.
Wouldn't be a Finnegan adventure if it wasn't at midnight.
That's why you don't gotta script this stuff. So, my friend Blaze Patrick O'Brien, yes, that is his name, is now in the boat siliconing the water leaks from the inside out because he fits in there and we really don't. We appreciate him for that. And after he fixes that, then we'll figure out how to straighten out that hose over there. And then it should be fine after that. And then, although we don't need to, I'm gonna start the boat again just because I like to hear it run. And then tomorrow we go racing. First class then is, they're gonna run Super E, which is not us, and then I think he said 660.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he said 660. So then the
And
question
then it'll
is,
be pro classes, so unblown fuel, and then QE will be probably close to last.
so we could just turn the stutter off for the light test pass and 660, and then turn it back on later on when we run QE.
And then start tuning from there for.
Yup. Yeah. Okay.
Biggest thing is just get comfortable.
Yeah.
Just get back.
I don't think a stutter is going to make me comfortable, so I'm just like, let's turn it off.
It'd feel weird.
Are you gonna play Crusty Demons of Dirt in your helmet again?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. It's the only way I know how to cut a light. All right, can you turn the battery on? I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to turn it off. So we have the ability to race 3 classes here at the National Jet Boat Association, which is unique. Like, there is no other place in the country you can go drag boat racing and race 3 classes. The 3 classes are unblown fuel jet, which is a heads-up 1,000-foot, go as quick as you possibly can class. Then there is quick eliminator, which is a 1,000-foot bracket race that has a time limit of 6 seconds. You got to get from the starting line to the finish line in exactly 6 seconds. And then there is the 660 shootout, which is a heads-up 8th mile, anything goes. We're probably going to get stomped in that class, but we're going to enter it anyway so that I can just get a bunch of seat time in this boat. The boat is really simple. It runs on carburetors. It has a distributor, but it also has a programmable ignition box. And we can use that ignition box to slow the boat down. So in the bracket race class, which has a time limit of 6 seconds, this boat is too fast for that. So we'll use the ignition box to turn on a rev limiter in the middle of the pass to slow the boat down. And currently, the old owner was stuttering the boat to slow it down for that class. That's not the first class we're running tomorrow, so we're gonna turn the stutter off and just find out how quick the boat goes. So I'm just gonna push some buttons and make some magic happen, and tomorrow, if everything works, you'll see how fast the boat can go, I'll see how fast the boat can go, and then we'll tune it from there.
That should be enough to push it down. Oh, there we go. That relieved a lot of tension to it.
It's as good as you're getting. That should have been a 45 or a 90, not a straight.
Exactly, I agree, but at least it's just one of the scavenge lines. All the other ones look pretty good. So it's just the one in the very back, which is what the most important one.
Hold that line down when I
Yes.
It probably slipped out of the... Yep.
close.
There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. I gotta buy some Windex, clean all the handprints off this before we fire it up.
Brake clean.
This is like, yeah, our brake clean. This is like the nicest, shiniest pair of headers I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, none of mine were ever polished. These are way too nice.
Buy the freaking tubing already polished.
I didn't even know you could buy the tubing already
All
polished.
mine were polished, yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
so
I
you
got
do
my
it.
headers in there because I got to drop them off at Joey.
You do it before you weld them.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you just clean up the welds.
Yep.
But even then, if you're careful with your welds, they'll look just fine.
Yeah, nice
Because
and
we never
purpley.
repolished the welds on mine. They look great.
Dude, that's rad. All right, the boys have fixed everything. And that is the last bolt for this header. So tomorrow, first thing in the morning, we're ready to go. I think everything's fixed. So tomorrow, we'll go racing. Or qualifying, rather. It's Saturday. So tomorrow we go qualifying. You guys have the iPhone starter kits for YouTube. I love it.
About that far ahead. Place to put the header on a lip by.
Did you feel, so how does, normally you've got the big cameras How do you feel now that you have, your iPhone, but with all the accessories? Like, you rather have a big camera? I mean, I don't feel you look any less important. You're like, I'd rather have the big camera. So does her camera intimidate you right now?
You want to borrow it? I don't know what I'm doing.
Her stick is, never mind.
That's what she said.
These are nice headers.